Yo, 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 it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast. This is issue 57 of Mini Truckin Magazine, September 96. As I've continued to say, what an awesome year for cover trucks. Features as well. And this one is another gem. Costly Obsession on the cover. Got some nice eye candy. Wait, talking about the paint. And man, is this a jam-packed issue. Something else I like about it is you see update Project Isuzu Ombre. We'll see more of that soon. And then, of course, you have the epicness right there. The Mazda. Those wheels. The tweed interior. Some of the sculpture. Man, it's everything that's what I was raised on in the mini truck scene. Seeing a lot of that, whether it be in person or, of course, in these magazine pages. So, again, if you can, make sure you like and subscribe, turn on post notifications. You can hit the little bell icon and share this if you can. We're continuing to grow. We're getting a lot of love, and we can't thank you guys enough for that. So let's jump right into this issue. DEI audio, so a little bit different ad there. Typical truck body parts ad here. And something I like to dive right into is the table of contents. Friend of ours, Radar's Isuzu Spacecab appears in this construction zone in terms of this issue. You got plenty of jam-packed features, including, you see there, Costly Obsession. And Phil Rush's graphic 92 Toyota Extra Cab is well deserving of the cover. Fuji Chrome Moment is also Tiffany Richardson in there. And then Mike, I'm Married charts this insert photo. Budweiser Spring California Truck Jamboree via Jason Whitfield. So you got a killer Amigo here. Something interesting, Assorted Miniatures. They get some love in this issue. Shartsis flies out for the first annual Showfest back in 96. So we'll talk about that. There is a typo in there. Let's see if you guys can remember reading or seeing that in the past. There's a giveaway right there on the events on what the typo is. And it happened, so no big deal. But it's cool to be able to look back on this stuff, of course. So this week was going to be a best of episode, and I did put together some awesome guests, and we're talking about the pulse of the scene. So check out OLP via most podcast apps. So Shartsis's editorial this month talks about a couple of things, including Lance. There's Lance there in white. Shout out to Lance Martz. He was celebrating his 1-year anniversary on staff. Shaun Carlson shot this photo, and you see Courtney there. So some of the all-time greats right there, behind the lens as well as right there in front of it. And that's a pretty cool photo. It looks like an old, what is that, a styrofoam deal? Cooler with some ice. You can see that look on Courtney's face, like, gotcha. It looks like Lance has got a Truckin shirt on there. Lance also wrote an editorial for Truckin that I remember reading it every month, which was pretty cool. Here you have the Cruisefest National 96. So you got some show coverage. Of course, you remember the Geo Trackers, how popular they were. It seems like the popularity is coming back. Shout out to Scott. We call him Scotty the Body in Florida. His wife has one of those. She's dipping in that thing. And she's addicted to the scene. We got to get her on. Scotty the Body, they called me on their way back from East Tennessee Showdown. They were gallivanting around, a couple of them, and Fatty B from Low Bros, and pretty cool stuff. Here you have the Import Impact. So you can imagine with this truck being kind of a newer truck on the scene, they wanted to say, hey, you know, S10s are selling great. Let's do some tech articles. You know, obviously we know what Gendro did with his, but pretty cool stuff. Shaun Carlson does the tech article here. He was perfect for these kind of tech articles. Mini Market. So some of you probably are holding out on podcasts going, man, I don't know what that is. If you have an iPhone, go to the purple pre-installed podcast app, search OLP. Many of you, can consume or do consume podcasts through Pandora, Spotify, download Podbean, especially if you're on Android. That's who hosts our podcast. But just know if you tap, follow, or subscribe, it's free. And you will be notified. I always upload the new episodes. We're going on the 8th year, I think. But we've been 3.5 years straight. So every Friday, basically midnight Thursday into Friday. So 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. The new episodes post. So that's, of course, East Coast time. And if you're on the West Coast, technically, it'll be like 9:01 Pacific time it comes out. But yeah, check it out. Slayer 2. So you got the a lot of iconic stuff going on here. You got the louvers. You got the headlight covers, the billet grill, that front air dam. Awesome wheels. But the most awesome thing, in my opinion, about this truck is the stereo. Who remembers this era? Man, I've said it so many times, the topper, the camper shell, whatever, the wiring, the tweed, the amps, all of this stuff is fantastic. You see the louvers there on the back tailgate as well. Thrash, looks like, is the tag. And shout out to Joe Greaves. He shot this one. Florida, longtime Floridian. Good dude. Jet Jam ad. We saw that last month as well as they're getting closer to the event. If you saw my recent upload, I talked about Jeff Dawson's, his truck, and how the van and the Toyota basically got featured in back-to-back issues. I think I mentioned his van when I did that flip through, and it didn't really dawn on me about the Tacoma until I got off the phone or finished the flip through that evening. And I had tagged Jeff in a post, and then I said, hey, small world, I just finished the flip through. And he's like, oh yeah, the Tacoma. And then he gave me the intel, and I did that short, video that I uploaded. If you haven't watched it, check it out. I'll put a link at the very end of this episode. You can actually tap on it, or if you're on the Apple TV or whatnot, you can just click it with the remote. So Lucky Charm, I've said before, maybe not my most favorite vehicle, although when these things are customized, the Aerostar vans, they actually look pretty damn good. To me, way better than stock. And there were only a few of these featured over the years. Simply Choice, you see there. Pretty clean, even by today's standards. I think I didn't like him as much. My friend Shaun, his mom had one. I remember riding it, and I just didn't like it. I think hers was, just was a typical mom commuter van. And I don't know, just wasn't a fan. I think I was more of a fan of the Astros, the MPVs, things like that. I've seen this one pop up in different Facebook groups. People love sharing this one. Shartsis behind the camera. Dustin Villeneuve of Gonzales, Louisiana. Really an iconic truck there. Trucks Rosa. Those kits are harder to find. And, of course, shout out to all the Trucks Rosa crew, including, dude, everybody. Dude, they're all good people. And I love seeing them at shows. So, Spring California Truck Jamboree. Epicness in a feature, in a layout. So, Toyota. Look at this Toyota. I've always loved those colors, right? Toyotas galore. There's the Mazda from the cover, the insert photo. Another Yoda. The Isuzu Ombre. This, super clean. Love that genre of just super low, clean, nice wheels, covered trucks. Look at this Blazer. Totally different than the one we looked at in the last flip through, with a little bit bigger wheel, super clean. Again, you could have Blazers for days, and every single one of them would be different style. I love it. Here's another S10 red, super poppin' in terms of color, cleanliness. and badass lifted truck there. You can see the in the news plaques. You can kind of tell they always had that iconic gray outline, even the paint around the outside that kind of sealed up the wood. But those guys were in business for a long time here in the Tampa Bay area. And my understanding is they're back. Maybe we'll talk to Ryan in the future about them being back in the catbird seat. So Cal Truck Jamboree continued. And you see here, there is the photo they used. While the trophies were being handed out by the beautiful bikini models, Lance Cake Boy Martz receives a special award of his own from the one and only Courtney Halliwell. The good old days, man. We gotta give thanks to the people that are still with us. And I tell you what, Lance did a damn good job for many, many, many years. I don't know that he always gets the credit that he's deserved, but let me say it now, man. Big salute. Did a lot for the mini truck culture, the lifestyle, and I can't thank him enough. Costly obsession. So you see, of course, on the thumbnail for this episode, you got California style expressed with elegance and grace. Like Biggie said, so much style and grace. So you got the Sherwin Vegas. You guys know that. I don't know if Mike even realizes when Vanilla Ice said when the Vegas were pumping. I don't think he knew that he was talking about Sherwin Vegas. But here, super clean interior. You could see the Alpine. Many folks had Alpines at that time. Charts this with the photography and the write-up. And I think it was Michael Cox, right? I believe that was his business. Every time I see this windshield banner, I think of him. And you guys hear me say his name. Rest in peace. This truck, a couple of things. Someone posted about it back in April in Mini Truckin. Where Are They Now? Shout out to that Facebook group. Dude, I love this, man. Behind the seats, tweed, super clean setup. That's back when you had to have a disc changer if you wanted to have more than one disc. There were, 3, 5, 10, 20 disc changers, stuff like that. I think there were some in-dash disc changers, maybe like a 3 deal, but most of them were, I think, 10 disc changers. That's the one that comes to mind. So you can see just how clean. But someone had posted in the Mini Truck and Where Are They Now about this truck. Josh Ellis, shout out to the big homie. Josh had in the custom car, which is also known as Boob Car. Yeah, Boob Car magazine, which is in Japan, and it's still going. There is in a 2000 issue that he has that came from Jason Redden. There is a photo of this truck at a car lot, like a truck, not like a, like an American style, junky car lot, like at a car lot. Kind of a higher end one. I'd have to go back to see. I'd have to find the photo, but I mean, imagine this truck. There were trucks, as we know, and it still happens today that, someone's got the money in Japan and they say, hey, I want that for myself, and they get shipped over. That happened with the famous Mazda MIC Cab Plus with the kind of the third door that Shaun and those guys built. That thing ended up overseas, but this one did as well. It ended up in a car lot, and who knows? Maybe someone from Japan can chime in on if this truck still. My thought is it's got to be around. Maybe it's in someone's garage, but that's literally the last I saw it. So, if you think about this is September 96, you basically had a couple, 4 years later, it shows up in a car lot ad. And if you've never looked at those Boob Car, which that's what it's called on the cover, for whatever reason, it translates to custom car custom, something like that. They are fun to look at. There is a lot, and I don't mean fun as in like ladies, like I mean tons of mini trucks in there. The old ones, at least. The new ones have a lot of the Jap vans and things like that. Dropsicle, super clean. You got the Soundstream windshield banner. Obviously themed out throughout with the different colors. Schartzis and Carlson. Shoot this one. Okay, I'm going to leave it here for a second. Comment below if you see the error with Assorted Miniatures Showfest. First year. They accidentally put that, not Showfest. I noticed that years later. But shout out to Assorted Miniatures. Joey's the big homie. Heather and Joey, of course. And you can look here and just see even their first year was awesome. I did not go until 2000, which was the 5th annual, if I remember my dates correctly. Charles the Kid Armstrong. Yes, you've heard me talk about it before. Many may not realize that is his truck pre-Time Machine. Amazing truck. The Flexstone, the frame, all that work. Those Budnick wheels. Those are the Tusks, I believe. Isuzus for days. This became the premier show. I tell you what, man, a lot of good memories. People have said before you just had to be there. And I would totally agree. It's hard to explain. I do have some footage from there. I know I talked with LMC Lee from Lowest Common Denominator, which their acronym is LCD, Lowest Common Denominator. I talked with him earlier, and he said he was watching footage on his, he called it the handy cam. And, you know, he was watching some footage from O-Fest, or 03 Showfest, with Eric from Graphic Disorder. And they were, you know, talking about where they were standing and what they were witnessing and watching. And it really was some mini truck history, you know, seeing some of the trucks just drive and or drag through there. So that was a little typo there. Of course, it happened, you know, and it still does in magazines. That's what happens. But no doubt they got it right the rest of the way. And, you know, what a show. I mean, 10 years later, you know, they were doing cruises from the West Coast, you know, IF Customs and some of the Severed guys and just a ton of people. Steve Wilk, Ernie from No Regrets, rest in peace, you know, all those guys, you know, a couple of years in a row. So, got to stop here for a minute. Here you have the epic Chris Hanson, at the time, Mazda. Okay, some of you guys know this truck. It went on to be copper, and it was featured in one of the first year or so street trucks. I think Courtney shot it. An amazing truck, but the legacy did not stop there. It went on to be purchased by Eli from Twin States, and all of his success after his Mazda had a fire. And it has since been rebuilt twice since then. It's a really, really, really killer truck. And you guys might know this truck and what it became. It was green for a while, green and silver. And it was on the cover of Mini Truckin'. And it had one of the, not the first probably, but one of the first trucks to have an old, or in that era, had an older dash in it. And then it was rebuilt and won Mini Truck of the Year. And it was like the red and, I'm going from memory, silver-ish color, right? You guys know the truck more than likely, but this is Chris when he owned it. Again, it did get finished. It was in copper. It's an amazing truck. So it's pretty cool to see it here. Here's Todd Radar Hendrex. We saw this in the TOC, Table of Contents. And Underground Customs. The 93 Isuzu Rodeo Grill. Budnick's 9-deuce truck. Negative camber. Shout out to Todd Hendrex. Radar. Good dude. Bump and Grind. So we talked a little bit about... this one's a Suzuki, but whether it was a Geo, Metro, or whatever, I mean, these things were super popular in that era. If you look at just advertising, if you look at rap videos and things such as that, you could lower these things or throw some hydraulics on it. Of course, throw some wire wheels, and you'd be rolling clean. The reason I know it's a Suzuki is you can see right there the S. Like when 50 says, I got an S on my chest. You see the S there for Suzuki. Speedway Auto Fair. So Mini Truckin' in Charlotte, North Carolina. Killer. Check it out. And you can see some of the trucks here. Thanks to everybody that watches these through. It definitely helps us out. Love the colors on this truck. And much love and respect to everybody out there. You know, people say, hey, you guys are keeping Mini Truckin' going. You know, there's a lot of good Facebook groups. There's a lot of enthusiasts. Those hats, though. I said, Mike, I'm going to get me one of those. He goes, no rope hats allowed, dude. I go, come on, man. Come on, Mike. But, you know, shout out to all the enthusiasts. You know, we do our part, but the scene wouldn't be thriving if it wasn't people going to shows and building stuff and things like that. We are fortunate that we're a part of the, you know, the media, so to speak, when it comes to podcasting, and, you know, we contribute to the scene. There's a lot of podcasts and YouTube channels, a couple magazines left, you know, not as many as we had hoped. Nietzsche? Do you say it Nietzsche? Or do you say it a different way? Here is Wired by Rockford Fosgate. And you can see what I kind of refer to as the wall. Shout out to my homie Paul Lane. He's a true audiophile. It's kind of hard for me to reinforce how much, you know, everybody kind of knows, oh, I know a stereo guy. Like my buddy Paul, like literally is like, I remember when he was telling me he was emailing back and forth with Bass Mechanic, you know, the guy that makes the music and stuff. And he was like, you know, you change your style up and, you know, such and such the hertz and this and that. And the guy was like, oh, I appreciate the feedback. And that's a good point. And it's crazy how far that stereo stuff has come over the years. Horizon coach, Lance Martz. I still remember the day I got my topper from Topper King back in the day. Mini Laughter. Again, shout out to Clerks 3, man. I can't wait to see it. You guys have heard me talk about Clerks and the tie-in to Mini Trucker or Mini Truckin' magazine. We know what they meant, depending on whatever they said. I tried in pre-production. I commented on Kevin Smith's. I said, please, dude, do a nod to Mini Truckin', and I highly doubt it's going to happen. But it looks like in the trailer there's plenty of nods to the original movie. We're looking at issue 57, Mini Truckin' magazine. Here was a local feature here in Florida. This is an Isuzu Rodeo. Some of you guys will know the history on this one. I don't know really much about it. I don't know that I ever even saw it at a show. Got some pretty cool colors. I'm a big fan of that blue. You know, seeing it on the black is pretty cool. Why not 1. We had some weird license plates back in the day, right? And then here's the color ad for Cal Truck Jam. This is Sunday, August 11th. That's where some of the dates come. You see the pricing there, admission $11. It's kind of cool look back historical info. And the back cover is Soundstream, obviously popping off, spending lots of money in that era. So, what do you guys like about this one? Leave a comment. Again, right here, man, that Mazda. Those wheels, that interior, those colors. But all the trucks, including Costly Obsession. What a killer truck. Who knows where it's at? Comment if you know. We'll hit you soon. Stay on the rise. ODB. We at you.